What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Just Cuz TV channel. This week, guys, week 15. We're in the home stretch here of the NFL season. Going game by game. We got our pick'ems and we got our survivor picks. As always, in these videos, guys, I'm joined by my good buddy Jeff. What's going on, man?
Not much, buddy. How you doing?
Not too bad. Fantasy football playoffs well underway.
Yeah, yeah. Who thought, like we were talking about before the video started, whoever thought we'd get to this point? I'm glad we made it.
Yeah. With COVID, who knows how the season would have went, man. Really excited, though. We got 3 weeks left, including this week. And as always, I'm joined by special guest Dr. West. What's going on, man?
What's going on, my sister from another mister?
I'm going to skip over that one. I don't even know where to go from there, to be 100%
that's my favorite
honest.
so far.
That was a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not technically a family member, but kind of, I guess, in a way. Yeah, why not? Let's roll with
It's
it.
going to be vague.
It's week 15, guys. In the final stretch here, let's take a look and see how we are doing thus far. Jeff, the big winner last week with 10 out of 16 correct, taking 2 out of the past 3 weeks, and sitting 3 games behind Dr. West in first place.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Got off to a rough start, but I'm getting my legs underneath me and coming for West, man.
It's, yeah.
It's an overall good week for everybody, I think.
Yeah, Dr. West, the front runner out of the gate, has not been caught yet. With 3 weeks left, we got to do something here, Jeff.
I'm floundering. You guys got to overpass me.
You
got to get to the double digits.
It's like when Dr. West can't score more than like 9 wins and we can't catch him, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, we got to do something here. I got to like mix it up here. I'm down by 6 games with 3 to play. I got to make up 2 games per week. This is crap, man. This is a bunch
You
of
know what
crap.
you should do, Anthony, this week? Not to spoil anything, but maybe pick the Jets. Like nobody else would do that, so it's a
Don't
pretty
you
safe
tempt
way
me.
to pick.
You know I will.
Pass them.
You know I will. And we, Dr. West, do we have a giveaway again this week?
We had a challenger. They tied me, even with spotting him a game because we released it late. I'll do that again this week because we're releasing it late again. But yes, we have. We're just going to keep adding cards. So we had the Lamar Jackson Got Game Mosaic. It's nice and shiny, pretty
Beautiful.
sweet. We got the Troy Polamalu Hall of Fame card. Get it out of my house. Don't like it. And today I'm going to add in the self-proclaimed spirit animal of Jeffrey.
Yes.
It's the Josh Allen Will to Win Mosaic.
Oh my God.
Shiny,
Oh, that's nice. That
pristine condition right there, baby.
that Lamar card has probably tripled in value after the poop game we had on Monday night. So
Yeah. You know what also is interesting about this card is I didn't know there's some people that collect cards that have referees in the background. This is one of them. There's like a vaguely you can see there's a referee back there. So
Oh, dang.
There's people. All right.
people are crazy. But just get this Josh Allen card, get this Troy Polamalu card out of my house.
Yeah, people collect Pokemon cards that are completely miscut as well. Because it's actually more rare when they're not cut correctly. Like there's no border and all that stuff. So
Yeah,
hey,
makes sense.
get yourself a Lamar Jackson referee card. Get
There
in
you
the
go.
comments, guys. Let's go. Channel is almost to 100 subscribers. I'm going to do a 100 subscriber giveaway video here in the next couple of days. We're going to get there, I promise. Leave your picks down in the comments. All of our picks are going to be straight up. No against the spread. We are going to talk about the spread. You can win these cards right here that I'm pointing to on Dr. West's screen. All 3 of them. Get in the comments. Like that video,
Bring it on,
guys.
people.
Let's go. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get into it with our Thursday night game of the week. And before we do that, just as a reminder, odds and lines are brought to you by DK Sportsbook, and they are obviously subject to change as the week goes on. We record on a Wednesday night, so the games don't happen on Sunday. At least most of them do. Get those picks in, guys, and just as I mentioned before, all of our picks are straight up. We do not make spread picks. Let's get into it. The 4-9 Los Angeles Fighting Justin Herberts are traveling to the 7-6 Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders, 3.5-point home favorites here with an over-under on Thursday night at 53. That's a big one for a Thursday night. In the latest Chargers win, despite the Anthony Lynn debacle that's going on here, where he decided it was a good idea to run the football with 20 seconds left at the end of the half, with no timeouts left, and they couldn't get a field goal off. This guy is a complete idiot. But they made up for it with a game-winning field goal by Badgley to beat the Falcons 20-17. The Raiders, on the other hand, have now lost 3 out of their last 4, and they currently sit outside the playoffs now, looking in the 9th seed. Jeff, we kick it off every week with you. Who are you taking in this Thursday night matchup?
Wow, I don't know. This one's such a tough call. I hate to pick Anthony Lynn, but wow, the Raiders just don't look good. Henry Ruggs, their rookie wide receiver, is now on the COVID list. Um, you know, they still have Jacobs. They still have the probably the second best tight end outside of Travis Kelce and Darren Waller. The Raiders have, I think, enough to get by, but I don't know. There's something about this that makes it hard for me to pick the Raiders, but at the same time, Austin Eckler, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, that's a great combination, but like you said, Anthony Lynn is still the coach. So based on that, as hard as that is for me to pick the Raiders, I'm going with the Raiders.
It sounded like you were waffling up until that last second there on that
I
pick.
was. I mean, like literally, I don't feel good about this at all. But yeah, this is a coin flip for me, and the last moment, I decided Raiders.
Yep. Strange interdivisional matchup here on Week 15. Dr. West, you gonna agree with Jeff here? Take the Raiders?
I am totally on board with Jeff that this is kind of like a coin flip game in division. The Raiders have looked at like absolute doo-doo lately. The Chargers, they're not impressive. Like they have the pieces that they could be very good, but they're hampered by their nimwit coach. I am going to take the Raiders. I don't feel strongly about it. I definitely wouldn't like laying 3.5 points with them. I will say I'd really like the under on this game for a Thursday night game in division. It's going to be a scrappy game, I think, and 53 seems like way too many points.
Yeah, with both teams not playing well, unfortunately, Dr. West, your lock of last week was that Chargers-Falcons game.
I know.
In the over.
I was going to mention that.
Yep, and it's for a Thursday night interdivisional Week 15 game. Both teams not playing well. I do like the under here as well. I didn't expect you guys to take the Raiders, honestly. So this is not to just be on an island by myself, to be completely honest. But if it wasn't for like just scraping by the Jets by 3 points 2 weeks ago, the Raiders would have actually lost 4 in a row now. They get a hot, honestly, Justin Herbert, who's playing really well. He has a lot to play for with Rookie of the Year. Still, I'd say it's up for grabs, but I think he's still the front runner here. And in this matchup, I think Herbert's the better quarterback, to be honest. And I'm going to take the better quarterback on a quick turnaround week, on a Thursday night week. Jacobs, I think, is still a little hampered. So give me the Los Angeles Fighting Justin Herberts, despite my least favorite coach in the NFL, not named Adam Gase. Mm-hmm. Island game right off the bat. I look forward to taking 1 point away from you guys as the week starts. But get this, guys. We're back on this weird schedule. We have Saturday games this week. 2 of them.
Love it.
To be honest.
One of the most wonderful time of the year.
It is. Yep. Saturday exactly football. Right. It is here, guys. We've got Jeff's 10-3 Buffalo Bills traveling to Steve's 5-8 Denver Broncos here. The Bills, I apologize, are about a touchdown road favorite here. Over-under sit at 50 for this Saturday game. Talk about getting hot at the right time, though, guys. Buffalo has won 6 out of their last 7. And again, it will be 7 in a row if not for that Hail Murray a couple weeks ago after the victory over the previously lossless Steelers up to 2 weeks ago. They won 26-15 on Sunday Night Football, where Stephon Diggs honestly made that Steelers secondary look a bit silly with 10 catches for 130 yards and a touchdown on 14 targets. On the other hand, though, will the real Drew Lock please stand up? He torched Carolina's defense to the tune of 280 yards and 4 passing touchdowns last week in their 32-27 close victory. So, Dr. West, Buffalo is making a case for the 2 seed in the AFC. Can they get there with a win against the Broncos?
So I'd like to apologize to the people for my lock button last week. Yeah, I was getting cocky and didn't work out. What I didn't account for was that Julio wasn't playing, and that really hampers the Atlanta offense. But this is the lock button game right here. We're taking Denver plus 6.5. We're really locking it in. We're throwing the farm at it if it goes over 7. It's just too many points. This is a classic look-ahead spot where the Bills have played 2 primetime games in a row. They've looked good. They have the Patriots coming next week in a Monday night primetime game where they have been the redheaded stepchild to the Patriots for so long. So this is just like an ultimate look-ahead spot. They're going across the country to Denver to play at altitude on a relatively short week. I'm going to take the Broncos.
So
But definitely with the points is really
Okay.
the key. I think that the Bills will win this game in a close one, but since I'm so jazzed up about this lock button, I'm just going to say Broncos, and I know that's probably not the right move.
wow, Jeff, really quick. So my note for this game says this game feels very trappy being on a Saturday afternoon in Denver. Is literally what my note says here. I'm not going to give away my pick, but Jeff, where are you going?
Oh, you know where I'm going. I mean, like you guys were teasing earlier in the video, Josh Allen is my spirit animal. He's in the conversation. Probably not going to get it, but at least in the conversation for NFL MVP. Gabriel Davis has filled in quite nicely for John Brown. The passing game has always been a big upside play with John Brown not being there. Kind of hampered it a bit, but with Gabriel Davis stepping in, it's really helped him take that to the next level. So I get what you guys are saying about, I hate the altitude. I don't like the short week. But Drew Lock, I mean, is he the Drew Lock? He's like a Jekyll and Hyde kind of play. One quarter, he looks great. He's always had the arm talent going back to his days in Missouri. But Tre'Davious White, I think, is the difference maker here. He's one of the best corners in the NFL. I think he'll be able to do enough to limit Jerry Jeudy, KJ Hamler, and company. So Stephon Diggs, superstar. Based on all of that, I don't care about the altitude. I don't care about Saturday. I'm with you. The spread seems a little high, but we're picking it straight up. Definitely going Bills.
Yeah, you know who Carolina was missing in their secondary last week when they played Denver? Tre'Davious White. That would have been really nice, right?
Right.
So I led off after Dr. West said it feels a little trappy here. So, as the breaker of ties, it is my duty to break this tie. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Buffalo here. Before this past weekend, though, Drew Lock only had 9 total touchdown passes, and he had 4 in one game. He shows up in a fourth quarter, down for 3. Shows up in a fourth quarter, down for 2. Shows up in a game. This is a hard test. Buffalo's defense is beatable with the pass so far this year, but they're hot, man. Like, you don't just win 6 out of 7 by accident. They're the much better team here with a much better quarterback and just the much better overall team. But again, wouldn't be surprised if Denver won this game. It feels a little trappy. It really does. Cue your Admiral Atbar impersonation. It's a trap. But yeah, Buffalo doesn't make me feel very confident, but I will take them in a quick turnaround scenario. Even on the road, I'm going to take Josh Allen.
Yeah, he's a beast, dude.
Yep.
So this is, again, Drew Lock versus Josh Allen. Josh Allen wins that hands down.
Agreed. But good luck to you, Dr. Westman, on your island game. We both have island games now. Sorry,
I want to point out that you guys acted like I was a big old idiot when I took the Eagles over the Saints.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes, yeah. I mean, naturally, it was the
Let
Eagles
me just
versus
take a little
the Saints,
credit
so maybe
there.
you're onto something. Maybe
Let
you're
me
onto
take
something.
the credit.
We'll get to your credit when we get to Philly, Dr. West. Get out of here with that. Maybe Jeff will be on himself this game if he's thinking about taking Carolina. But we got the 4-9 Panthers traveling to the 10-3 Green Bay Packers. The Packers 8.5-point home favorites here. 51 is the current over/under. Aaron Rodgers must be loving life this week, guys. The Packers have won 5 out of their last 6. And just like we mentioned in the last game, he now gets a Carolina defense at home that was just torched by Drew Lock to the tune of 4 touchdowns last week. It does sound like Carolina will be without Christian McCaffrey again this week, probably for the rest of the year at this point. Why bring him back to risk further injury? Carolina has lost 7 of their last 8. With a random 20-0 win against the Lions mixed in there. Very bizarre. Jeff, Aaron Rodgers, he's on a mission this year. How badly will he dismantle this Carolina secondary?
Oh, pretty badly. I mean, honestly, if you look at his stats, everyone talks about Mahomes and how great Mahomes has done. But if you look at Aaron Rodgers' stats this year with far less offensive talent, especially in the receiving core, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not underselling Devontae Adams. He's obviously probably wide receiver 1 in all of the NFL right now. But outside of that, who do they have? Lazard, MDS, Tanyan. They don't really have a whole lot of wide receivers. But if Drew Lock's able to torch the Carolina secondary, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a field day with them. They may be able to rest him in the fourth quarter if they really wanted to. This game's not going to be close. Mike Davis has played well in a relief spot for Christian McCaffrey for fantasy purposes. Probably has a good day, but overall this game is not going to be close. Give me the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, since you mentioned Aaron Rodgers' stats, I actually had them as part of my bid here. I'll go ahead and make my pick. It's pretty easy. Aaron Rodgers, he has 41 total touchdowns so far this year. 39 passing to only 4 interceptions, and this team's been rolling. I'm taking the Packers. Dr. West, you going to complete the sweep with us?
Yeah, I don't have too much to add. I think the Packers are the clear pick.
Yep, not much to add there. Carolina lost 7 of 8. Green Bay has not lost 7 of 8. They have actually won 5 out of 6. Pretty easy win for Green Bay here. That will take us to our Sunday games now. We've got the 6-7 New England Patriots traveling to the... Wait, are these records flipped? That can't be right. 8-5 Miami Dolphins. Miami a field goal home favorite here. That should be a lot more in my opinion. Over-under set at 42. The worst New England season in almost 20 years is thankfully coming to a close as another bad loss last week, 24-3 to the Rams, brings the Pats back under 500 yet again. Cam Newton just not getting it done after he was benched in the last 10 minutes of the game last week against the Rams, and the calls for Jarrett Stidham are getting louder. Miami, though, despite their 33-27 close loss to the Chiefs last week, have still won 7 of their past 9. Tua, I mentioned he has not been passing my eye test, looked a lot better against the Chiefs. He threw for 316 yards, 2 touchdowns, did have an interception. Guys, with a wild card spot firmly on the line here for Miami, can they get revenge from their Week 1 loss to the Pats, Dr. West?
I think they can. I think this will be a close, divisional game of 2 teams that hate each other. But overall, Miami they are just so well-rounded. That's why I liked them last week against the Chiefs in terms of against the spread. They play a lot of close games, and they don't make a ton of mistakes, and their defense is really good. I think that's why the number is so low on the over-under. I mean, it seems a little too low, but man, maybe they can shut down Cam Newton and make him throw for less than 100 yards, which he seems to do not infrequently. So give me the Dolphins.
Taking the Dolphins, and then renowned Patriot hater Jeff, I'm sure you're taking the Dolphins as well.
Well, let's just be clear. I don't necessarily hate the Patriots. I just think that, it's a little over the top with the praise for them, especially going into this. When you're saying the record should be flipped, no, they shouldn't. The Patriots are awful right now. If they're calling for Jarrett Stidham to start, your team's not very good. Yeah. Let's be honest. Jarrett Stidham is not the future quarterback of this team. He's not leading them to any kind of success. My feeling is, why didn't Belichick make the ultimate move and tank so they could have been in contention for Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence? Now they're going to get a middle of the first round pick and not get the quarterback they need, because let's be honest, it's a quarterback league. You need a quarterback to get somewhere. Let's go over the passing stats for Cam Newton the past 3 weeks. So Dr. West's point last week was his high water mark at 119 yards.
What?
Woo!
Oh, man. Yep. On fire.
He passed the century mark there.
Yeah, exactly. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The week before that, 69. Yeah. And the week before that, 84. Now he runs into a Dolphins defense that played very well against the Chiefs last week. I think that the stars are aligning. Yeah, Miami's backfield's a little bit of a mess. Tua, I'm sure Belichick's going to scheme a pretty good defense against him. But at the end of the day, the Dolphins' defense is going to be too much for that limited Patriots offense. Give me the Dolphins.
So, I am in a pickle. I am literally in a pickle. So I put my Patriots shirt on today. I got the Patriots football shirt on today. In my pick on my file right now, I actually have the Dolphins. I don't know if I can do that. This is just my inner demons can't let me pick the Dolphins. I'm going to abstain. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to take the Patriots.
That's why you're in third place.
There's no faith here. I make picks because my gut tells me to, not because my brain does. My gut's an idiot. It shouldn't be picking anything except what I want to eat tomorrow for breakfast. But taking the Patriots, there's one stat that comes to mind when I think about Bill Belichick, and it's how well he does against rookie quarterbacks. The defense is not a slouch for New England. They limited the Rams to 24 points, but one of those was a pick 6 by the defense, so it really was, 2 touchdowns. I feel like the Rams offense is pretty good. Tua, is he ready to take on a Bill Belichick-led defense? My heart says no. My brain says the Dolphins are going to win this game. What the hell are you doing? taking the Patriots here, and it literally comes
a
back
valid
to that Bill Belichick versus rookie quarterback stat that I just have ingrained in my head.
Yeah.
He does not let rookie quarterbacks play well. He shut out Justin Herbert 2 weeks ago in LA. I'm taking the Patriots here, and literally, I will show you guys my note has me picking the Dolphins. I can't do it.
That's a valid point about the rookie quarterbacks. I mean, he took Justin Herbert to church.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I'm still questioning why Fitzpatrick isn't the starting quarterback. Like, I get it if their record was swapped and they were 5-8. Let's see what the rookie can do. But I still think Fitzpatrick right now is the better quarterback that gives them a better chance to win. But
I agree. He did have a good game against the Chiefs, which they have limited quarterbacks pretty well this year. To throw for 300 plus against the Chiefs defense is a step in the right direction. Now, can he do it against Bill Belichick, who is notoriously good against rookie quarterbacks? We'll see. I hope so, for my personal sake, to be honest. If not that, then I don't know what. We go from the team that used to have Tom Brady to the team that currently has Tom Brady. The 8-5 Tampa Bay Bucks traveling to the 4-9 Atlanta Falcons. The Bucks 5.5-point road favorites here, over at 50.5. The 3 loss in a row Tom Brady was yet again avoided as the Bucks got back to a winning track with a 26-14 win over the Vikings last week. And get this, they actually get the Falcons for 2 of their last 3 games in the year. The Falcons, they have now lost 2 in a row, albeit very close games to the Saints and the Chargers. Atlanta currently sits tied for last in the NFC, while Tampa Bay is holding on to the 6th seed by 1 game over the Arizona Cardinals. Jeff, with the Saints slipping last week, can Tampa push towards a home playoff game, or will Atlanta win game 1 of this series?
No, Tampa's going to win this. Wes kind of pointed out earlier that Julio Jones, when he's not in the lineup, their offense just looks flat. Yeah, I know he's technically questionable. They haven't placed him on IR. They haven't ruled him out. Raheem Morris came out and said he's week to week. But again, why would you, kind of the same conversation you're having with Christian McCaffrey, why would you run him out there at this point when you're 4-9? You really don't have anything to play for. Without him, teams can focus on Calvin Ridley. Yeah, Russell Gage is a guy that's maybe picks up a little bit slack, but he's just a guy. Like,
he's a guy.
Yeah, he's just a guy. Like, he's just like your replacement level type wide receiver. So, and the running game's a mess. Ito Smith, Brian Hill, Gurley, none of them have really been able to do anything substantial. So Tampa is going to be able to feast on Matt Ryan all day long. I don't feel good about Tampa in the playoffs. I think they're kind of a fraudulent team, but in this matchup, give me the Bucs.
Yeah, so Jeff, really quick, while we get to Dr. West's pick, do you know if Julio is a free agent after this year? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, he signed a long-term deal a couple years ago.
So. Okay, so he's still going to be in Atlanta next year then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, there's no reason for them to roll him out there if he's going to stay injured like this. Dr. West, who are you going with?
I've been saying it all year. The Buccaneers beat bad teams, and I consider the Falcons a bad team, so give me the Bucs.
Short and sweet, huh?
I mean, I don't want to take up too much time. I just think that, we saw that when the Buccaneers play good teams like the Packers, they get smoked, and they just love to beat up on bad teams, and this is a bad team. So,
wait, the Bucs crushed the Packers.
No. Oh, did they?
Yeah, like
5 or 6
I have it
weeks
backwards.
Ago. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Who is the?
They won like 30-7.
I'm sorry. They played a good team recently, and they got smoked.
Was it the Saints, probably?
Yeah, Saints.
Yeah, they lost both to the Saints this year. So really quick, this is the home stretch. If there's one quarterback I want down the home stretch and getting ready for the playoffs, it's Tom Brady. Obviously, Mahomes is there too, but if there's a guy that's done it over the past 18 years, it's Tom Brady. He's ready for the late season push. He gets a warm-up against the Falcons, who the Falcons are then traveling to Tampa in 2 weeks to close out the season. Give me Tampa. Tampa sweeps here. Now I think we're getting a little bit of a fun one here, guys. 2 injury-ravaged teams. The 5-8 San Francisco 49ers are traveling to the 4-9 Dallas Cowboys. San Francisco, a field goal road favorite in Dallas. 45 is the over-under. So, you guys, you both have picked San Fran the past 2 weeks. It's actually helped me greatly win some Island games. So I want to go ahead and thank you guys for that. That's very, very generous of you guys. They lost to the Bills and to Washington over the past 2 weeks. While San Francisco is not technically eliminated from the playoffs just yet, they need a ton of things to go their way, as they are 2 games behind the Cardinals for the 7th seed. While Dallas is 2 games behind a playoff spot as well, but it's only in their own division. They're behind the red-hot Washington Buckeyes, and then also need a lot to happen for them to make the playoffs. Dr. West, are you going to take the Niners yet again?
I screwed up because all year I've been taking Washingtons. I talked them up last week, and then I still took the 49ers. Like, what am I doing? I'm a dum-dum. But one of the things I've done all year is pick against the Cowboys. And that seems to be a foolproof plan, so I'm going to pick against them again, stick to my guns, and go with the 49ers.
All right. Jeff, sticking with the 49ers as well?
Damn, I was hoping I could get a little separation here, but yeah, I can't pick the Cowboys either. Andy Dalton is their starting quarterback. Ezekiel Elliott, what the hell happened to him? I mean, God, the 49ers, so many injuries there, but Brandon Ayuk has looked really good the past few weeks.
He's a stud.
Maybe that gives him, and maybe that gives that connection he's built with Mullins. Maybe that gives him. Can we talk about the wide receiver rookie class this year? How impressive it's been. Mm-hmm. Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins, just CeeDee Lamb prior to Dak going down. I mean, it's
even
like a
Judy,
historic.
KJ Hamler, that duo out there.
Yeah, Judy's probably the best one out of all of them, and he's not even doing diddly this year.
Yeah, and it's just historic how well these wide receivers have produced, regardless of pedigree. And the 49ers seem to have an eye for that. Ayuk this year, Deebo Samuel, if he could ever stay healthy, would be another find that they've had. But, gone with them how many weeks in a row? So I'm going to stick with them. I hate the Cowboys, so I feel good about picking the 49ers here.
Yeah, I can't hop off the 49ers on this game despite you both picking them. Dallas's 2 wins in their last 8 games have come against a miracle fourth quarter against the Vikings, where they won by 3, and the Burrowless / helpless, whatever you want to call them, Bengals. San Fran's actually 4-2 on the road. They travel pretty well. Dallas, I don't think will have the answer on defense to stop Brandon Ayuk or whoever they want to roll out at running back. Whatever the 6 they want to play, should be able to run shot
exactly.
all over the games.
A mess.
Yeah, I think they get it done here. I do think it's a close one, though. I think Dallas, they still have something to play for. They'll keep it interesting, but San Francisco should have them here. And another sweep for us here. Maybe this game will be a little bit different. We'll know. We'll see. The 5-8 Detroit Lions are traveling to the 9-4 Tennessee Titans. The Titans about 10-point home favorites. No over-under for this game when I was looking at it. The Lions are weird this year, guys. Vegas doesn't know what to do with them. No over-under. The Matt Patricia, quote-unquote, being out allure wore off last week for the Lions after they lost 31-24 to the Packers, while Tennessee got back on the winning track with an easy 31-10 destruction of the Jaguars to actually win 3 of their last 4. The race for the AFC South is super close with the Colts. So Tennessee, they do have to keep winning to get a home playoff game. Jeff, will Tennessee get to 10 wins, or will Lions play spoiler?
No, Tennessee's getting here. This is December. This is Derrick Henry territory. They just roll over the Lions. They have looked better, the Lions have, over the past couple of weeks. But, again, just a mismatch. This time of year, Derrick Henry always feasts, so I'm not going to waste a bunch of time. Give me the Titans.
Yep. Check your calendar. Is it December? It's December. It's fantasy football playoffs time. Derrick Henry's going to roll. I hate him. He literally got me eliminated in both my playoff matches last week. Dr. West, taking Tennessee?
I am, but I will note that my lock button, 2.0, is the Lions plus 10.5. That is just way too many points. The Titans play a lot of close games. How many games this year have they won by a field goal or less?
At least 3 or 4.
A lot. The Lions have enough talent to at least keep this within a touchdown, in my opinion. And you're giving them a touchdown and a field goal. I don't know. It just seems like way too much. I agree that Derrick Henry is going to feast on this one. I think there'll be a lot of running in this game, and I don't know what the number is going to be for over-under, but I'd probably take the under for a game that I have no interest in seeing.
Yep. Snooze fest. Tennessee is the much better team. No surprise by my pick here. Just like when we seen with the Texans when Bill O'Brien was gone, the 1-game rebound was all Detroit had to offer here. Derrick Henry should get another 200 yards, I'm guessing, in this game. Detroit can't, stop anything from getting through that horrible defensive line. Tennessee all day. I don't even know if 10.5 is enough, Dr. West, from my perspective.
Yeah.
You can see like
I'm with
31-14 or something like that.
I mean, I can see them keeping it close, but Matthew Stafford, they're saying this week that he's in incredible pain. Like he's been dealing with the issue in ligaments in his throwing hand, and he's out there gutting it out. But yeah, it's just to me like that. When you combine all those factors, I'm with West though. The spread does seem a little high. They've kept it competitive, so I would go with I would take the points here if I was going to actually bet on the game, but straight up, definitely the Titans.
This may be one of the lowest bet games in Vegas this week. We have an AFC South sweep here for Tennessee. That will take us to an AFC South matchup with the 4-9 Houston Texans traveling to the 9-4 Indianapolis Colts. Colts, a touchdown home favorite here, over set at 50.5. Before I get to any game analysis, first of all, congratulations are in order for Dr. West, who won both of his large preseason bets. The Houston under 7.5 wins and Cincy under 5.5 wins. Both paid out this last week, netting Dr. West a huge return. Congratulations, sir. Very well done. I will say, if you haven't been following Dr. West's picks, they hit more often than not, so you really should be following him. But for this game, though, this Houston team was really a humongous disappointment this year with another loss last week, 36-7 to the Bears. Woof. While Indy defeated the Raiders 44-27 to win 4 of their last 5. I don't know where these points are coming from for Indy, but they're scoring a ton of them. Dr. West, are you going to thank Houston by picking them for a win here, or are you going to take the Colts?
I would like to thank Houston for being so bad. I hope people maybe tailed my bets. I don't think they did, but if you did, then it's been a profitable year. That being said, I'm going to stick to my guns and pick again against the Texans. The trap you fall into with the Texans is that Deshaun Watson is so good. It's so easy to say like, oh, he's the best quarterback. He's top 5 quarterback in the game. Like, why can he not win? It's because his team around him is just so terrible. So I'm going to take the Colts, and I'm going to feel happy about it.
Okay, so over under 8-8 had they had DeAndre Hopkins.
They'd be much closer to 8-8 in my opinion. He has no weapons to help him at all. I mean, it's so sad. Like, why would you go get David Johnson? I mean, this is the thing that I railed on in the beginning of the year. It's like running backs are a dime a dozen in this league. Mm-hmm. They don't make or break games usually unless you're a Christian McCaffrey. So why are you going to get rid of one of the top 5 wide receivers that do make a difference and get, David Johnson as Jazzy Scooter? So it's just such a bad move. It's the stain that Bill O'Brien has left on this team now.
Yeah. God, I just can't even imagine this Houston team still with DeAndre Hopkins. It makes me sick. Jeff, who are you going to go with?
Does it though? I mean, really, is DeAndre Hopkins the difference between a playoff contending Houston Texans team? Anthony, how many points did they give it to the Chicago Bears last week?
36.
36 points to the Chicago Bears. Throw DeAndre Hopkins on that team. They're still not winning 8 games. A wide receiver is not the difference in the NFL. I'm with you. It's probably a more valuable position than running back, and David Johnson was over the hill before they traded for him.
His scooter was down the hill in that trade. He was already going downhill.
He was on his second scooter by then.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not fixing that defense. There's nobody on that defense that scares anyone. You give up 36 points to Mitch fucking Trubisky, you're way out of playoff contentions with or without DeAndre Hopkins. So this Colts team's a little weird, but other than Deshaun Watson, Houston's got nothing. They get Cooks back this week. That's not going to be enough. T.Y. Hilton looks like he has went to that place in Indiana Jones where they finally meet the guy, the Holy Grail, and he drank from the fountain of youth and was revitalized, all of a sudden come alive. So T.Y. Hilton, old. Phillip Rivers, old. But the Houston Texans defense, garbage. Jonathan Taylor is going to punch holes through that, open it up for the passing game.
Who's not old? Jonathan Taylor.
Right. He's on Home Improvement. Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
It's Jonathan Taylor Thomas, fixing up this Indy backfield. God, as much as I am If there's two teams that have put me so far behind this year, it's the Bengals and the Texans. So you are so welcome, Dr. Wes.
Yeah,
That
love it.
it goes without saying. I'm like 0-5 when I pick the Bengals by myself, and I'm like 0-4 when I pick the Texans by myself. There's 9 games right there. I'm such a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
It's
you
unbelievable.
couldn't get over the fact that you took the Texans to win the division at the beginning of the year. You like just
Yeah.
kept trying to will them into being good,
Yeah.
and you can't do it. They're
It
just
was
not good.
It was a mental block I had. I was like, well, I had them in the preseason to win the division. I'm an idiot. They're not good. They're really not good. Deshaun Watson is good, but the
Just
year's
gotta cut the cord.
Yep, the year's over. I'm cutting the cord. This is like my first Indy pick in forever. Like I picked the Raiders last week because I don't like Indy. I gotta start playing with my brain now when I make these picks. We're in the home stretch here. I don't know how Indy's doing it, but they've scored 44 points last week, and they're averaging like 30 in their last like 5 games or some weird shit like that. Like, I'm picking the Colts here purely as a reverse jinx to let Houston try to win a game. That's my thought.
Good luck.
Yep.
Good luck, bro.
Let's go Houston, but I'm picking Indy, using my brain here. That will take us to the team that just dismantled this Houston team we just talked about, the 6-7 Chicago Bears traveling to the 6-7 Minnesota Vikings. Huge playoff implications here, guys, for real in this game. May not seem like it, but there actually is. Spread. 3.5-point favorites are the Vikings. The over-under sit at 46.5. Another game, another week. Chicago is yet again not the favorite in this game, but this time they get the Vikings, who they lost to 19-13 roughly a month ago. And a surprising turn of events for the Bears. They actually won a game, absolutely destroying the Texans, like we just mentioned, to end their 6-game losing streak. While Minnesota removed themselves from the current playoff picture with a 26-14 loss to the Bucks. Jeff, in a game, like I mentioned, that does have big NFC playoff implications for the wild card. Who are you taking?
I think I'm taking the quarterback that was the class of his draft class. That's Mitch Trubisky. I'd rather have him than Pat Mahomes or Deshaun. No, I wouldn't. But actually, the man has looked competent the past few weeks. He's given a jolt to that offense that was missing when Nick Foles was there. Allen Robinson has come alive. David Montgomery all of a sudden looks like he's rediscovered some athleticism. I think they've got enough going offensively to pair with a pretty good defense still to overcome a Vikings team that's essentially relying on Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson. Yeah, Adam Thielen's there, but I just have a feeling this week that the Bears and Trubisky are going to keep that momentum going. Maybe it's positive thinking because I've got a couple Bears on my fantasy roster, but in my heart of hearts, I'm kind of feeling that gut feeling that the Bears are going to roll this week.
Jeff, to go off your point, Mitch Trubisky scored 36 points last week. Do you know how many Patrick Mahomes scored? 33. Trubisky, clearly the better quarterback.
It's obvious right there.
Clearly the better quarterback.
But Trubisky went against Watson, and the Bears won the game. So thus demonstrating forever.
Yeah.
Stop the count.
This is where it ends.
Mitch Trubisky is the better quarterback. So stop the count. I'm going to have to look at the rest of their careers. Just stop it.
Any prior results do not matter. Last week, Trubisky beat
They were all
Watson.
fraudulent. They're probably like mail-in statistics or something.
Go with those mail-in statistics. Wes, who are you mailing your vote in for?
I want to make a slight detour. Are we sponsored by Rheingeist yet?
We are not. I do got to say, in protest, I'm drinking a margarita this week. So
yeah, I just wanted to point out. So I'm about to crack a new crispy boy right here.
Oh yeah.
All right, citywide. It's Four Hands Brewing Company. They're going to be our new sponsor because Rheingeist is ghosting us. That's all I want to say.
I switched to Mad Tree this week.
I'm tagging Four Hands and I'm tagging Mad Tree in this video. Rheingeist, you missed out on the opportunity of a lifetime.
You could have had 100 subscribers looking at you. Okay, Rheingeist.
For free. Well, I mean, not for
free.
You got to send us some beer.
I mean, like a 6-pack. Or even Cheetah. I'll settle for Cheetah.
Cheetah's good. Yeah. It's good lager.
Cheetah's good.
So, I just wanted to take that detour just to see if the sponsorship came through yet.
No.
All right, well, in that case, I'm surprised. I thought I was going to be on Chicago by myself. I'm going to take Chicago. I still am not. I'm not sold on these Vikings. I just don't think they're good. And I've been saying it all year. Well, I mean, once I figured out they were bad, I did pick them to win their division, but it took me about 2 games to figure out that they are just absolute trash. So I've been picking against them a lot, and I'm just going to keep on going. I think that the best thing in this game is the Chicago D, and the worst thing in this game is Kirk Cousins. So let's do it.
Dr. West, not only are you not on Chicago by yourself.
Oh, Chicago, sweet.
I thought I was going to be the only one on Chicago this
I was
week.
going to be on the island.
What is going on? We outplayed all of ourselves collectively. The Chicago sweep. What? My reasoning, Chicago, they are playing a lot better. Get this, guys. Over their past 3 games, they are averaging 30.3 points a game. This Mitch Trubisky-led offense is cooking right now. And when I looked at Minnesota's, wins and losses this year, they have come in streaks. They lost last week. It was their first loss in a row. If you want to do quote unquote, they're going to lose 2 in a row because that's what they do. They don't go win, loss, win, loss. They win 3, lose 3, win 3, lose 3, and we go from there. All right, Chicago sweep. Hammer Minnesota money line if you're watching this video. Easy win. Any final thoughts, Jeff? I thought you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
No, I just am hopeful that first of all, I'm surprised because I was really going with my gut here. This is kind of a toss-up game too, but I'm just hopeful that the current predictions that we have here play out because it will definitely benefit me in fantasy football. I know no one cares about my fantasy football team, but I'm just hopeful.
Okay. Last chance. We'll leave this one up for the next 3 seconds. Anybody switching their vote?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
Nope. All right. They're locked in. Chicago with the sweep? What? All right. That will take us to the 9-4 Seattle Seahawks traveling to the red, flaming hot Washington Buckeyes, as you like to call them here on the channel. Seattle, 5.5-point road favorites with an over-under sit at 44. Guys, 3 weeks ago, I would have told you this game was locked up. I would have told you there's no way that Washington's winning this game. But as we know in the NFL, not so fast. Before Seattle's 40-3 destruction of the Jets last week, they were only able to put up 12 points in a loss to the Colt McCoy-led Giants and only 23 points in a close win to the Philadelphia Eagles. Washington, they have now won 4 games in a row behind some very solid defensive efforts, allowing an average of only 14 points a game in those 4 wins. Very, very nicely done. Seattle, 3-3 on the road. Washington, 3-3 at home. Something's got to give here. Dr. West, you've been behind both of these teams this year. Who are you taking?
Yeah, this is like which one of your children is your favorite? It's like, how are you supposed to choose? I was a dum-dum and didn't choose Washington last week. I was really pleased. Chase Young got a touchdown, a defensive touchdown. He's like a man amongst boys. And that touchdown, it's raising the price of I have a box full of Chase Young rookie cards over here that are just you get that little emoji that's like the stock symbol going up. That's my cards right now. With that being said, though, I think that the Seahawks are clearly the better team. I do like the +5.5 for Washington. Seattle going across the country and playing probably the best defensive front 7 in the league.
It's Dr. West. 1 p.m. Eastern game.
Huh?
1 p.m. Eastern game. That's Seattle's traveling to. Yeah.
I know, it's rough. I mean, all the stars are aligning for Washington to win this game. And I'll probably hate myself in a week from now. But I just think that Seattle is a much better team.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I have a hard time picking against Russell Wilson. It's just a weakness of mine.
We'll come back to you, Dr. West, after Jeff makes his pick here.
Oh, you going to sell me on something?
We'll see. Jeff, who are you taking?
Surprisingly, I'm going with the Washington football team. They have seemed to rally around Coach Ron Rivera, Alex Smith as well. They're missing Antonio Gibson, but J.D. McKissic has filled in admirably, giving them that release. Alex Smith's always been a game manager, check down type. They still have Terry McLaurin that's able to work down the field. Logan Thomas has shown up a bit more over the past couple of weeks, and like Wes said, that front 7 is ridiculous. That front 7 is going to be a monster for years to come. They've got a lot of young talent there, so the key to getting to Russ is putting pressure on him, and I think they're going to do that. Chris Carson looked better last week, still a little banged up. Tyler Lockett's been MIA. DK Metcalf's a beast, but they haven't faced a defense like this in a few weeks. And Washington's got all the momentum, and like you said, they're traveling across the country. 1:00 start time. Give me the Redskins.
Oh no! Getting timeout. Just come on.
I'm sorry. It's a force of habit.
Using
Give
that-
me the football team. I wholeheartedly apologize
Jeff.
for using an insensitive term.
This is the internet. You can't be making comments like that, man.
I know,
You
be
can't.
canceled. If you guys don't see me next week, I apologize in advance to all the Native American fans. I'm sincerely apologetic for using that term. It's force of habit.
The cancel culture is for real with this one. That's okay. We went back and rewound the tape, and Dr. West did it a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah,
so.
you were right about that. I apologize.
And I called
Yeah.
him out, so now I feel
You
even
were
more
right.
like an asshole because I was
Yeah.
the one that called him out.
Yeah.
So it's karma coming back to bite me in the ass.
Here we go. I will do my best to not call them the R word. If anything, it's the Washington Ron Rivera's. If you're looking for a couple R words there, this team is rallied around Ron Rivera. It's kind of incredible. My note literally says I am incredibly torn on this game because I do love how this Washington team has been playing. Alex Smith, I think he's questionable for this week still. Not 100% sure if he's going to be in for this game, and that's kind of where I'm leaning. Is that questionable Alex Smith tag? Oh, I'm going Seattle despite the travel. They have Russell Wilson, who's not on the injury report. A little bit more safe for me here, with the Rams also being 9-4 in that NFC West. This is a must-win game for Seattle if they want that coveted home game out there in Seattle. It honestly would probably be against them and the Rams, that 4-5 at this point. Or no, I guess, nope, they would be, whoever loses would go to the NFC East, I guess. So you still want the home game, but with Russell Wilson being there as opposed to maybe not Alex Smith. Jeff, I don't know if you were just looking up to see if he was on the injury report or something like that. Yeah.
Well, they basically said, I was looking up the injury report. They held him out of practice. They're basically saying as a precautionary measure, they're optimistic that he will play. But my bigger question is, Wes is a big Buckeye supporter, and he's always been clamoring for his boy to come back. Dwayne Haskins.
Mm-hmm.
If Haskins starts this game, does your pick change?
No, it doesn't. I mean, I've always said, so I think if the Washingtons are legit that they're going to make a playoff run, then Alex Smith is probably the guy to do it. But I didn't think that they were going to be in a playoff race. I didn't imagine that the NFC East would be this bad. So I wanted Dwayne Haskins to get snaps and to progress and be better because I do think he has a lot of potential. And I think he could be a fine quarterback. But if you want to win today, then I think Alex Smith has proven that he is the guy.
Agreed.
Yep.
He's
got definitely Haskins. I'm not underselling Haskins' potential, but I totally agree. It's spot on right there.
Yep. Sounds good. Wes, do you want to change your pick?
I'm really tempted. I'd love to, but I'm not going to.
All right. Leaving Jeff on the Washington football team island. I think that's your first island this week, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah, we've got
All right.
blackjack and hookers on this island. It's perfect.
Let's go. Everybody join Jeff on his Washington Blackjack and Hookers Island. And we're going to get away from that topic because we are now traveling to Baltimore. We've got the 1-12 Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the 8-5 Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens 2-touchdown home favorites here with an over of 46.5. My goodness, guys. What is there to say about Jacksonville that is actually redeeming at this point? I do have a stat. I have a stat for you. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
The only redeeming quality that this team has is that they have a 12-game losing streak, and that's not the longest losing streak of the season.
Yeah,
but they also they're actually pretty good against the spread. They tend to lose games pretty close. This is a lot of points for a game, but I'm not. You guys left me alone with Baltimore last week. Like, how silly are you guys? I mean, granted, it was a great close game, but still.
They escaped, though. They really did.
Well,
Cleveland was running through them. Like, I mean, it was a really good game. We'll get to that stuff when we get to the Cleveland game here in a second. But Baltimore, they are 8-5. Speaking of that game on Monday, and fresh off the internet's most recent fascination, the Lamar Jackson poop game, they did defeat the Browns on Monday Night Football, 47-42, and what was arguably the game of the year. They currently occupy the 8th seed in the AFC. So Jeff, this one's pretty easy though, right?
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about Cleveland running through stuff. I was going to make a silly pun about Lamar Jackson's dinner running through him, kind of a la Paul Pierce in the playoffs a few years ago. But yeah, this game is awful. I mean, even if I mean, for betting purposes, maybe there's some interest in it, but just clearly a mismatch. I mean, honestly, I think probably right now the Bengals are the worst team in the NFL. I know we're going to get to them in a moment, but outside of that, I don't know. I guess maybe you can argue the Jets and the Jags, but this is a mismatch from start to finish. I don't care if, they're starting.
We did see Minshew last week.
Yeah, I was going to say Minshew or Luton or
Juice Luton.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's over. Give me Baltimore.
All right, Wes with the Juice Luton golf talk there. All right. You're taking the Ravens, right, Dr. Wes?
Yeah. I said that, but
okay.
Nobody was listening to me. It's okay.
Yeah, we should be used to it by now because you're in first place and we don't listen to you still. I mean, if there's anything I've learned this year, it's to listen to Dr. Wes. Yeah. Jacksonville, not going to be able to stop anyone on Baltimore, and Baltimore may hit this over-under by themselves, to be honest. They did just score 47 against the Browns. Or is it 46.5? Why not? Ravens keep rolling here. I think not much else to mention about this game, I don't believe.
No.
Correct.
No. Cool. Let's get to our 4 p.m. games. And if you didn't get enough bad team in our last game, would you look at who we got for you at the start of the 4 o'clock games? The 0-13 winless Jets traveling to the 9-4 Los Angeles Rams. I can't even read that number because it's so big. I believe that says 17.5 is the spread. Look at those money line odds. Over-under set at 44. The Rams currently sit atop the NFC West, although currently tied with the Seahawks after they destroyed the Patriots 24-3 last week, and they have won 4 of their last 5. The win column for the Jets, it still remains empty. Adam Gase still remains the head coach after they lost 40-3 to the Seahawks last week. Adam Gase, guys, get this. He came out today and said that he has let ownership down.
Yeah. Wow. Glad he's finally realizing that.
He got one thing right.
15.
Yeah. No fucking kidding, man. You're 0-13, you idiot. Dr. West, this one's easy, right?
Can you cut in that clip of him just like looking around like randomly like in this? Have you seen the one where they like added things that he's like looking at?
He's looking at tacos around the screen. Yeah. Where there's like eyes all like rolling back in his head.
Yeah, cut that into this. And then, Vegas is really in a conundrum here because like what number do you put on the Jets that people are going to go to the window and bet them? I don't know what the number is, but it's still not 17.5 for me.
No.
I'm going to take the Rams and I don't know how high does the number go? I don't know.
The Jets may give the Rams 17 points in this game off turnovers.
That's what I was going to say. I think the only intriguing bet you could possibly have is will the Rams defense outscore the Jets offense?
That is a good prop.
Yeah, I wonder what that would be. We got to look that one up. That's a good one. We're all taking the Rams, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. It's not going to come as any shock. It may. The Jets are going to go winless this year, guys. You heard it here first. Number 1 on the internet. I said it first. They're going to go winless this year. They're bad. And I do have a little fun stat here for you guys. Clearly the key to a win this year is to fire your coach, and the Jets can't even get that right. Come on, man. Come on. Fly away, Jets. Get out of my screen. Goodbye. All right. Let's go to the 4-8-1 Philadelphia Eagles traveling to my Arizona Cardinals, who are 7-6. The Cardinals, 6-point home favorites here with an over-under set of 48.5. Speaking of teams that should fire their coach, Philly somehow got back in the win column last week with a surprise win. Congratulations to Dr. West, who called that last week. Well done. This team, I don't know how you lose to the Giants and then beat the Saints, yet here we are with the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts didn't necessarily light up the box score with his passing stats, but he contributed 18 carries for 106 rushing yards. And shocker, giving the ball to Miles Sanders works. Good job, Doug Pearson. You finally figured out the formula to get a dub here. Arizona, though, finally got off the 3-game losing skid with a 26-7 destruction of the Giants and currently sit in the playoffs in 7th in the NFC. Jeff, who you got?
Give me the Cardinals. Kyler Murray looks a little bit more healthy than he did the previous few weeks. Yeah, Jalen Hurts running the ball terrifically. And like you said, where the hell has Miles Sanders been all year? Maybe it was Carson Wentz that's been holding this team back. I do think they found a little bit of a spark, but the Arizona defense has been playing better, and it looks like they're finally getting right on offense. They still haven't really figured out the running game. I think that's kind of their problem. They don't have a consistent running back, whether it's Chase Edmonds or
Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake, sorry, I blanked there for a moment. They still haven't figured that out. But other than that, they've got DeAndre Hopkins, and if they can get Kyler Murray back successfully running the ball to make up for that weak running game, then that's going to be the difference for them going forward. I think Jalen Hurts has a little of film on them. They'll know what to do. The Arizona defense will work to hold the running game back and force them to throw the ball, and that's going to be the difference here. Give me Arizona.
All right, Wes, Battle of the Birds. Who you got?
The Birds. I'm actually going to take Philly.
Ooh.
I think that this is the time of year that Philly is going to lock down and make things interesting in the NFC East. I think they have a very solid chance of winning out the rest of the year, and really kind of muddling things in the NFC East. I like Jalen Hurts. I think I've said it before. When you're not turning the ball over, when you're not guaranteed 3 turnovers a game, it makes your team so much more live to win. And Jeff has been saying it for weeks now that Kyler's not the same ever since his shoulder's been messed up. So I think that this is where the Eagles start getting serious, and they're going to win a game.
Okay, so Doug Peterson sucks. Let me just throw my pick in here.
Oh, I would
Wait,
take Doug
Doug
Peterson over
Peterson
Zach
sucks?
Taylor
Yeah.
any day.
Doug Peterson sucks.
Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl.
He's
Yeah.
lucky.
Over your boys, correct?
He's lucky. Lucky idiot
No.
leading this
No,
team.
was that all Frank Reich, his offensive coordinator?
I'd
Yes.
pay him any amount of money to come to the Bengals.
Oh, I would too.
Oh,
I would drive to Nome, Alaska, if the man was up there, and pick him up and
Yep.
drive him back down. Doug Peterson is a good coach. He's just hamstrung with the.
You would take Zach Taylor to the airport to get him out of town.
I would dispose of his body.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
he's
right.
really not that good of a coach. It's unfortunate, maybe in a different lifetime. Bengals, we'll get to them here in just a
Super
minute.
Bowl. How is he not a good? I don't
He
understand where
sucks
this
as a coach. He's horrible. He's a bad
I think
coach.
you're just bitter that he beat your team. Man.
Yes.
Let's be honest.
And he
Thanks,
doesn't
Jeff.
run
I am-
with Miles Sanders enough.
Yeah, there we go.
My salt level with
We've
losing in the
identified
Super
the
Bowl.
reason that you're so anti-Doug Peterson.
Yeah, he's not using Miles Sanders, and he beat the Patriots to the Super Bowl. That's the only salt that I need to get him fired. Like, idiot.
He's done that his whole career, though. He loves committees.
Yeah.
Like,
Sucks.
everybody knew that.
He's
It's
an
just like
idiot.
never draft a Patriots running back. 'Cause
Yeah.
See, that's true.
Belichick just loves to just
That's true.
mix and match.
Good point. Very good point. Either way, guys, I've rode Arizona all year. As the breaker of tie, I didn't have to think very long on this one. Hurts got his rookie first win out of the way. No need for any more of that BS to continue in this game. Kyler's shoulder is getting healthier by the week, it seems like. Arizona should kind of roll here at home. The Eagles are bad. Doug Peterson should be fired. Let's move on. The salt is real, and I'm getting the salt all the way. Let's get to an actual really good game here, guys. This is easily the game of the week, I feel like. The 12-1 Kansas City Chiefs traveling to the 10-3 New Orleans Saints. Kansas City, road field goal favorite here, over versus 51.5. I wish this game had Drew Brees in it, though. It's not looking like he's going to be activated for this game. Kansas City, with a win, should have the number 1 seed in the AFC locked up, with only the Falcons and Chargers remaining after this game. But it needs to be said again, though, guys. They are not blowing anyone out, but it seems when you watch these Kansas City games, they're just like, yeah, let me throw it to Tyreek Hill for another 40-yard touchdown. Whoop, Kelsey's open across the middle for a 25-yard gain. Whoop, all right, Lev Bell, 12 yards out of the backfield. Whoop, all right, Demarcus Robinson, 80-yard touchdown. Like, it's just so weird to watch them play. But you look at their last 4 games, a 4-point win against the Raiders, 3-point win over the Bucks, and then 6-point wins over the Broncos and Dolphins. These are close games, but they're going through the motions, so I don't really know what's going on with the Chiefs. They are 12-1. New Orleans saw their 9-game win streak snap to the Eagles, and their number 1 seed in the NFC was lost to the Packers with that loss. Dr. West, this is a really fun one. Who you got?
I'm so done with the right-handed Tim Tebow.
Yes.
Hill. I mean, I just can't do it. I like the Chiefs. They do win a lot of close games, but if Taysom Hill's the quarterback, I think the other teams have finally figured him out. as evidenced by Doug Peterson being a good coach and figuring out how to beat him. So give me the Chiefs.
Doesn't say a lot beating Taysom Hill at this point, I will say. Really quick, Jeff, I will just follow up on Dr. West. If the Drew Brees injury, my note, confirmed one thing for me personally, is that Taysom Hill is not the long-term answer for the Saints. I think the Drew Brees injury was a bit of a blessing in disguise. It got that question out of the way, where it's like, do we give Taysom Hill this like long-term quarterback contract? I don't think he's the long-term answer, but Kansas City, they have their long-term answer. It's Patrick Mahomes. I think Kansas City wins another close one. 3 or 4 points here is perfect. I'm not touching the spread. I'm not touching it. I think it's great. New Orleans defense is still very good. Kansas City did just only beat the Dolphins by 6, and they're on the road again here. Kansas City wins, but it's close. Jeff, who you got?
I'm going to go on an island.
Oh,
I'm
my
gonna
God.
Take the Saints here. I agree with everything Wes said. Taysom Hill is essentially Tebow 2.0, but the Saints defense is legit, and the Dolphins defense really hung with Kansas City last week. So I think, Anthony, you also hit on a great point that Kansas City's just kind of doing a little bit of a Super Bowl hangover. They're 12-1. They're a little bit disinterested at this point. Like you said, all right, here's a 40-yard pass to Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, yada, yada, yada. They're waiting for the playoffs. I think they're kind of like just in coast mode. And I think that Sean Payton really wants to prove that Taysom Hill is the answer. He really wants to say, hey, this is my guy. He's been game planning for this for weeks. I'm going to give Sean Payton the benefit of the doubt, and Kamara was more involved in the passing game last week. I still think he's one of the best players in the NFL. Coupled with that defense, give me the Saints in an upset.
Saints Island game? Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. And if there's one game that the Saints need to win to get back to that number 1 seed, it's this one. Statement game for both sides to say who is playoff ready, I feel like. Who is...
I have a video clip for you to add in there. It's the Stephen A. Smith. Are you smoking crack?
No need to insert the video. Dr. West, you did it perfect, man. That was excellent.
It was like a Hulk Hogan / Stephen A. Smith mix.
Are you smoking crack, brother?
Dude.
Jeff, the Taysom Hill Island taking the Saints. Yeah. That will take us to our Sunday night game. The 9-4 Cleveland Browns traveling to the 5-8 New York Giants. Cleveland about a 4 or 5 point road favorite. 45 is the over-under in this game. And it's honestly kind of sad that we get to go from such a great late Sunday afternoon game to this game. But here we go. In Cleveland's last 3 games, get this, guys, they are averaging 37 points a game. Yet, they are still crazily, they are minus 20 in point differential for the year so far. Very bizarre season up there in Cleveland. Atlanta, who is 4-9, is actually plus 6 point differential on the year. Explain that one. Weird year. Anyways, the Giants, they were unable to make it 5 wins in a row with their 26-7 loss to the Cardinals last week, and they now sit 1 game behind Washington for the NFC East playoff spot. Jeff, this game actually does have surprisingly big playoff implications for both teams. Who comes out on top?
Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. Daniel Jones a little banged up. I just checked on his injury report. He was getting in a limited session today, Wednesday, but they're not quite sure if he's going to be able to make it. So I really don't think Colt McCoy is going to be enough to overcome that Cleveland defense. And Baker and that offense has been on fire. They put up big points, like you said, over the past few weeks, including against a good Baltimore defense. The Giants, to me, aren't a good team. They don't have a really good quarterback. Wayne Gallman is still their running back. The defense is solid, but not enough to overcome the limitations they have on offense. I'm going Cleveland.
All right, Dr. West, you going to take the Giants here?
No, I mean, I'm going to take the Browns. I pick against the Browns a lot, and it's not worked out for me well this year. I think that the Giants, they were cute there for a while. They won a few games, but the jig is up. Like, they're still a bad team. I will say this is kind of a possible trap game where the Cleveland played a long game that they lost in close fashion. They might now and let down a little bit. And the 4.5 is kind of enticing for the Giants, and I suspect that number may get a little bit higher because I don't think people are running to the window to bet the Giants. So I'm intrigued by that, but straight up, I'm going to take the Browns, which are clearly the better, more well-rounded team.
Yep. Took the words right out of my mouth. I've been saying it all year. This New York team is actually #not good. Despite winning 4 of their last 5, though, they were only scoring an average of 18 points a game. Cleveland, who I just mentioned, they can score. They're doubling the Giants' points over the past couple of games. Giants cannot. Cleveland, they come away with a win in a Sunday night doozy. I don't have high expectations for this game. Over under 45 on Sunday night.
I'm going to go over.
Over.
I would not bet it. I'd be intrigued to see what the weather report is supposed to be for New York City in middle of December. But I would take the over probably.
All right, I would go under. I'm feeling a snooze fest here. I'm feeling a lot of running. I'm feeling a lot of incompletions, and we'll see what happens. I have no idea, but Cleveland takes the sweep here. That will get us to Jeff. Are you ready? Oh boy.
Oh god! How did this game end up on Monday night?
Question that I was going to ask you is how in the fresh hell is this game on Monday Night Football? But yet here we are. The 11-2 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Cincinnati. They are in town on Monday Night Football to the 2-10-1 Cincinnati Bengals. Pittsburgh 12-point road favorite. 40.5 is the current over-under. After a 11-0 start, surprisingly, Pittsburgh has now lost 2 in a row, and their offense actually appears to be completely stalled out with only 17 points in the loss to Washington and 15 in the loss to the Bills. Thankfully for them, there's an easy remedy to their current problems, and it comes in the form of the Cincinnati Bengals team, who Ben Roethlisberger is 25-7 against in his career. Since he has lost 5 in a row, where only one of those 5 games, they scored more than 10 points. Dr. West, we'll kick it off with you, and we'll let Jeff stew here for a second. Dr. West, who are you taking?
I'm going to create a new hashtag that's going to trend on Twitter. It's tank for the tackle.
I like it.
The Bengals got a tank for that number 3 pick, get a left tackle. I think it'd even be smart to trade down in the draft and get more than one lineman because we are just so bad. But the Steelers are clearly the better team in all assets of the game.
Jeff, let's go.
In the schedule maker's defense, I'm sure when they initially scheduled this game, they anticipated that Joe Burrow would be healthy and still playing. And if you looked at the Bengals prior to that Burrow injury, they were at least competitive. I think you could put the blame on Burrow's injury squarely at the feet of Zach Taylor by the abundance of throws that the man was making. I understand the logic of potentially trading down from pick 3, not to get too much into the draft talk, but Sewell, the left tackle from Oregon, they're saying he's a generational player. And outside of him, they're not really projecting any offensive lineman that's worth picking in the first 20 picks, and you can't miss out on that opportunity. Regardless, back to this game, this team's a train wreck. Zach Taylor's completely lost his team. One of the few players that stood up and defended him, Gio Bernard, was benched after a fumble on the second play from scrimmage and didn't see the field until the second half. That's what you do with a leader that's been backing you. Zach Taylor's way in over his head. I remember him as the offensive coordinator at UC. He was garbage then. He's garbage now. Dave Shula 2.0. The Steelers are going to win. My lock of the week is the Steelers are going to definitely cover that spread. Lock it in. My lock of the century.
Lock of the century.
Lock of the century. Lock of the week.
Stamp it. Yeah, so it's really funny you mentioned that, Jeff, because I think Pirine fumbled on the very next drive, and then he still came back in on the drive after that. So,
yeah, Travion Williams fumbled. That was the guy that fumbled, and then literally gave him the ball.
Yeah,
right back on the next drive.
If that doesn't show you how inconsistent of a coach Zach Taylor is, then I don't know what will. What will convince you otherwise?
Right.
I think he's got 1 year left, and he's like, we'll see how he does next year, and he's probably gone. That's a whole nother story.
If it was any other organization, the man would have been canned. Well, not necessarily, but he definitely would have been fired after this year. Mike Brown will give him a pass because of the Burrow injury and because they haven't allowed fans in the stands, so he's not going to see the discontentment that he saw the last year of Marvin Lewis. So he'll get 1 more year. It doesn't really matter. the Bengals are on a trajectory to move from Cincinnati in a couple of years unless things drastically change in the next year or so.
Yeah, I think I did see, maybe, Jeff, you might have seen this. I think the mayor of Cincinnati has already told the Bengals that you better start winning and making money or you're gone. We're not, like, renewing. They have some, like, lease with the stadium, I think, where very confusing.
Stadium lease runs out in, I believe, 4 years.
Yes.
And there's no appetite, not to get all down in the weeds on this, but there's no appetite in Hamilton County to give the Bengals any more money, especially when they're this bad. So,
and they've been bad. They're not making money for the city. That's the whole point of having a sports team, is to make money for the city. And the product on the field sucks. You're not selling the merch because the product on the field sucks. People will come to the games when we're allowed back in the stadium. People will watch the games. People on social media will bash the team. It creates further discontent with the fans.
Yeah. I would buy all the merch. I would do all the shit if they actually just tried. And that's the problem. Is that the Brown family, they don't care. They just don't try because it involves spending money. That's where the discontent comes from with a lot of Bengals fans. It's just they don't give a shit at all about the city of Cincinnati. So I'd be happy if they left and if we could get another franchise in, but
I don't even know if it's that. I think I've heard St. Louis is going to be the place for the Bengals go because they already have the stadium and the infrastructure for a football team.
Yeah.
So
it would make sense. And there's a lot of I'm living in St. Louis right now, and there's a lot of people that are very unhappy that the Rams left. So
the second
they
option,
are missing it out.
Yeah,
since the city of Cincinnati is not getting another professional football franchise that they leave, the Rams stadium is decrepit, so they'd have to go ahead and renovate that stadium if Cincinnati's going to move there. Which I'm not saying they won't, but good luck to those people that are going to get fleeced in St. Louis for renovating a stadium like we did in 1998 just to have the same stuff happen over and over again.
I think that the St. Louis people are willing to be fleeced just because they miss having an NFL team here.
Yeah. And I'd miss the Bengals. They break my heart week to week. But, I would definitely miss them. I just want all the Cincinnati fans out there to be like, if the Bengals leave, we'll get another team.
We just need new ownership. I
think Katie, that's his daughter's. That's Mike Brown's daughter's name. I think she's trying at least, but Mike Brown still has the control, and he's not.
Can that guy just get COVID, please?
He just doesn't. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's
savage,
complete idiot. Getting back to the game, though, guys. Pittsburgh with a sweep here very easily. Pittsburgh, I think they got the wake-up calls they needed in the 2 losses. I think they had to have those. Just like that college basketball team that goes like 29-0 in the regular season and then lose in their conference tournament. That's kind of what they had to have happen here for them to be like, oh shit, maybe we're not as good as we actually think we are. But when it comes to playing the Bengals, there's a different class. Let's just say that to be very nice.
They could bring out Duck Hodges this week and it still wouldn't make a difference. They'll still roll.
Oh, bring out Duck Hodges with an eye patch. Like, it doesn't matter at this point. Pittsburgh should roll here. I don't think 12 is enough. It's probably going to be something like 30-7. The Bengals can't score more than 10 points. So if you don't think Pittsburgh will score 24 points, then take the Bengals plus 12. If you think Pittsburgh's going to score more than 24 points, take the minus 12. Very simple formula here. The Bengals will not score more than 10 points in this game. They will not. But we take the Pittsburgh sweep, and that was our last game of the week. No weird Tuesday games this week. We get to Survivor. As the person currently in last place, I'm going to do my best to try to take Dr. West's pick away from him here to spite him.
Oh, you're dirty, man. You do that every
so dirty.
week.
Yep. I'm going to make Dr. West scramble here for a second because I'm a jerk and also because I'm the host. That's what I do. I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns. I think that's who Dr. West was going to take if I had to take a guess. I have not taken Cleveland yet. Neither is Dr. West. But Browns to roll the Giants here. Jeff, who you got?
Well, I see it. I have a little bit of an unfair advantage since I started later in the year, but
give us you pick. No. Before you pick, give us an upset pick this week. Give us one.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
This is a requirement.
No. I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams. I'm going to keep my streak rolling.
No, you're picking against the Jets. F that.
Upset pick? All right. So not survivor pick. I've already given you my upset pick. I'm picking the Saints over the Chiefs. I know it's a close game, but that's my upset pick. But my survivor pick
Is the
definitely
Saints.
not the Saints. It's the Los Angeles Rams. Put
No,
that shit down.
My
man.
screen says the Saints.
All right,
We-
fine, whatever. I'll roll with that. That's how confident
That's the
I am.
handicap you have. You
Yeah.
have to choose a upset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's-
all right, fine.
that's who you're taking
Fine.
this week is the Saints over the Chiefs.
You're gonna take away
You
my,
could have taken the Bears.
you're
You
gonna
could have
take
taken
away
the Bears.
my layup, and I'll go with the half-court shot.
All right, let's go. Let's do it.
You could have done the Bears, Jeff. You had them, and they're an underdog.
I'm doubling down, man.
Oh, he's doubling down.
Yeah.
You didn't take my pick, Anthony. I was
Okay.
actually I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens versus the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, taking the Ravens. See, Jeff, he's allowed to do that because he's been here for the whole season.
All right.
I know you came in halfway. We can't with this layup stuff anymore. We gotta.
I know.
We're in the weeds here. It's week 15. Let's get after it. Any final thoughts on week 15, guys?
It's going to be a crazy week. Just really hoping the Bengals don't embarrass the city too much on Monday night, but I have a bad feeling
On
about
national TV, where's Andy Dalton when you need him, right?
it. Yeah. He's afraid of the dark, so luckily we
Prime time Andy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that will do it for this video. If you haven't yet, please consider hitting that like button. Please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. Dr. West, you want to throw those cards back up on the screen
Let's
right there?
do it,
Look
baby.
at those beautiful things.
It's so shiny.
They're so shiny. I can't even see the screen. I gotta put my hand up. I'm blinded. Put your straight up picks in the comments. All you gotta do, beat Dr. West. You can get Jeff's spirit animal right there and Josh Allen. Looking very nice as usual as he does. That will about do it, guys. Hope to
good
see you
job.
guys
Great.
in our week 16 picks, and good luck in the fantasy football semifinals.
Let's
Good
go,
night and good
baby.
luck.